Moms for Liberty really worked miracles.
We have a crisis in America in public education. This is the future of our kids and our country.
You are joyful warriors.
And we are just getting started.
Welcome to the Fire of Liberty show. I'm Tina Deskovich, the CEO and co-founder of Moms for Liberty. This show brings you the frontline activists and warriors from across the country, mostly our chapter chairs that are giving it their all to fight in this culture war in America that they've been forced into. They don't even want to do this necessarily, but here they are. And our guest today is no different. I'm excited to bring her to you. But before we get started, I want to ask you if you saw the report that came out from the White House domestic policy team. They released it on the 4th of July. And I really ask that you go and take a look at that. It is uncovering what's happening in the Smithsonian in our country right now. And this first release is on the Museum of American History. The one museum in the United States of America that we should be able to bring our kids to, and we should be able to visit to celebrate the history of America, to understand our founding, to learn and educate ourselves and our children, to feel inspired and educated and leave there ready to celebrate America and fight for her for the next 250 years. And what they found in this document, it's about 120 pages of facts, is that the museum, the American History Museum here in Washington, D.C., doesn't have any substantial displays about George Washington or Thomas Jefferson or John Adams or any of the founders or the founding documents. The American History Museum discusses the latest and greatest LGBT, what's going on with the LGBTQ movement. It discusses one of the first transgender folks in America. It has a whole display on a butterfly about a man in San Francisco, about him coming out and how that is like a butterfly transitioning. So you can tell exactly what's going on in our American History Museum. The lady that's running it has come out and said history is about teaching social justice. She is not hiding it. She's not ashamed of it. She says that's the way we should be looking at history. And then, and some of the more the particular things, they've reshaped Thanksgiving. It's not a day of gratitude anymore. It's a day to be concerned about. And guess what? Plymouth. It's a myth, apparently. Has anybody been to Plymouth? I have. I've brought my family there. We've seen the Rock. The Rock is not as exciting as one would think, actually, but we've been there. We took pictures by the Rock. We went to Plymouth Colony for the reenactments. We brought, they brought History Alive for me and my children as we read some of the things that were written by those that were at the actual Plymouth Colony. It's not a myth. And there's just so much more. So I encourage everyone to go look at that document. And that now I'm ready to introduce you to our guest today. I'm looking forward to having a great conversation with her. She's from the deep, deep, deep blue state of Rhode Island. And because of that, she has to fight a little harder and a little different sometimes than the rest of us do to save America. Welcome to the show, Amy Rodrigues.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here. This is very exciting. It's been so much fun so far in DC.
It's so fun. I love when we're remote up here in DC and we get to bring our guests here because you get to experience our capital city. And we were just talking about the Smithsonian. But before that, let's just say you're a mom of 3. You've homeschooled them until they got to high school, as I understand it. You're a hardworking woman doing a lot to save our country there in Washington County, Rhode Island. You started the chapter in 2023, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But let's back up to my opening monologue where I'm talking about the Smithsonian. Did you visit any of the museums yesterday while you were here?
No, I was busy visiting monuments and the Great American State Fair and doing a lot of walking. It was a great day. Yeah,
let's talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about the fair because we've got some great things happening, which is why we're in D.C. today for the Great American State Fair, which is still going on, by the way. If you are in the area, come on down today. Moms for Liberty will be on the stage at 1:00. But the American History Museum and what this document has uncovered said, I was talking to you on the way over in our Uber, and I said something about, they said Plymouth is a myth.
Yes.
And you said,
then I am a myth too.
And I don't understand that. I was like, well, what do you mean by that? Explain to the audience what you're talking about.
Having family come over through there on both sides, my mother and my father's side. So Apparently that makes me a mythological being. So,
Well, you're a beautiful mythological
Thank
being.
you.
It's crazy to think that, like, you've done your genealogy and you know that your ancestors came through there. So the document actually says that they're trying to erase American history. And so how do you feel about that? They say where
Yes.
both of your ancestors came, like, I can trace mine back not that far. I mean, most of mine came through Ellis Island. So, within the last 100 years mostly. And so, but for you can go all the way back to Plymouth. And for them
Yes.
to say it's a myth, think
I-
about that for a second and comment on that.
I think that's on brand for the left because they have to take away everything that gives us a sense of pride and the foundation in who we are. So once they can erase that, they take away patriotism, they take away our faith, and they take away our moral standard. And what are we left with?
Yeah, because if you think about why they came, religious
Yes.
freedom, you think about what they wrote, the Mayflower Compact, you think about all of the things that we learn out of the stories from apparently your ancestors, which is just, I'm blown away by that and extremely jealous, by the way, since I have such recent American roots. It would make, if you were a younger person, maybe, it would make you question,
Yes.
am I really American? What does that really mean? Did they really come here for religious liberty?
That's true. And one of my ancestors came over through there as an indentured servant from Scotland.
Really?
So white people were slaves or indentured servants. And yeah, that takes away a lot of our history and who we are. And it completely changes the narrative. We have to keep teaching history the way that it was. We cannot change facts and instill that pride and faith in our next generation for the many generations to come.
Are you surprised that the Smithsonian has done this?
Not at all. They've been doing this woke stuff for a long time, so that's right on brand for them.
Yeah, I think I did a media hit yesterday and they said, are you surprised?
Mhm.
I'm like, we've been fighting to get it out of schools for at least 5 years. And so no, not surprised at all.
Right.
But something's got to give, and we've got to, it's like we have to root it out across all of these organizations and entities and institutions in America.
Right. It took a long time for them to do this, so it's going to take a long time for us to turn this around. But where there are just a few of us, God's in it, and a lot can happen from that.
I love that. I love the
Little is much
positive
when
outlook.
God is in it.
Yeah. You've got to dig deep and find that positive outlook every chance you get.
Yes.
Coming from Rhode Island, which is very blue. Let's talk a little bit about your trip here, though. Yesterday, you were at the Great American State Fair.
Yes.
For those that are wondering why I'm in a t-shirt today, it's because this is our Founding Mothers t-shirt that we had made for today. We're going to have 5 Moms for Liberty moms on stage at the Great American State Fair talking about not just the Founding Mothers, but how women have helped shape this country from the beginning and what women are doing today to shape this country. And that's you. That's you.
Thank
We're at
you.
5 women, but we're representing all 130,000 of us out there, including you today, because we are fighting for the future of America.
That's right.
Yeah, it's crazy. So tell me about your experience yesterday. We've heard so much bad press about the Great American State Fair. The haters are hating on it. And so what was your experience?
I thought it was great. I had a great time. The weather was good. If it was hot like last week, I would not have enjoyed it as much. So praise God for
Today's
that.
like the coolest day in
Yes.
3 weeks. I was texting in our group chat last night. I'm like, guys, it's only going to be 83 tomorrow. It was like 111 or something last week. So
Yeah, it was great. And as soon as you get there, they give you free water. Thank you, President Trump. He's keeping us hydrated.
Trump water.
Yeah, making water great again. And so we went through so much to see and do, a lot of patriotism, faith-based, family-based. It was true America. And of course, I went to the Rhode Island cubicle, whatever. They got to share it with a couple of other states. So at least some people were in there. But yes, the Rhode Island, if we want to talk about that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So each state, for those that don't know, was given a section at the Great American State Fair in one of the pavilions to put together the greatest and best things from their state to showcase their state. And you went to see Rhode Island yesterday.
Yes, and they give you these little passports. So that's great also to visit each state so that you can get yours stamped, and it makes it exciting and memorable. So I was in the Rhode Island booth, and someone threw a couple of wicker chairs in there, I guess, for someone to sit in if they cared to, because Rhode Island didn't send anybody. They didn't want to be part of history and patriotism.
So they just refusing. I think there was a handful of
Yes.
states that just refused to participate.
Yes,
How embarrassing.
that is really because we really missed out. We have so much to do in Rhode Island and to talk about and to see and experience.
I wonder if you could extend your stay and work the booth. I think with the fair's a couple more days. You could work. You could just go take
Yeah.
up the space and talk about the good things about Rhode Island.
we'll drop our win red and people can donate and we'll make it happen. So I thought it was great to be there and to sit in the Rhode Island booth at least, and or not even whatever it was. But it was sad because people were coming in with their passports ready to have it stamped from Rhode Island, and that would be blank.
So there wasn't even a stamp there. You couldn't stamp
No.
yourself, or
No.
you just. So if someone wanted to go visit all 50 states, there's going to be Rhode Island and a handful of others that there's not even going to be a stamp for.
Correct. And as soon as they get there too, where Rhode Island's on that long strip, and there's Florida and a line going way for who knows how long. Florida was given swags. I saw bags and so much, and that really made my heart sad to see that, because Rhode Island could have had that. We have so much that we could have.
And you guys have
done.
I love Florida. I'm from Florida. I'm going to
Yes.
stop by the booth today, of course. I'm looking forward to it, and I've seen some great things out of there.
Yeah.
But Rhode Island has so much history
Yes.
that Florida doesn't
Yes.
necessarily have as much American history as some of the northern states,
Yes.
so in the New England area. So it's really sad and unfortunate.
Right. So next time in 250, I guess we'll be there. Another 250. We'll
Well,
say,
you and I won't be there, but
never know. So,
immortal.
yes. Well,
That's-
majestic. So I will be there.
So what was your favorite part of the fair?
Just seeing everything, the faith-based booths and people there, and the military members were there, and just the pride in our country. So that was everything about it. It was really great. We enjoyed that a lot. They even had a FIFA state, the whole place to watch soccer. It was just great. It was a good time.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it today. For those that are watching again, we'll be there today at 1 p.m. on the Freedom Stage talking about the founding mothers. I'm excited
Yeah.
about that. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
Okay, let's dig in a little bit about Rhode Island and what it's like being a chapter leader in a blue state. You started the chapter in 23.
Yes.
Why'd you start the chapter?
My daughter was being mistreated and targeted at her school, and I had never spoke at a school committee meeting before. I didn't know a whole lot of my rights as far as a parent and what I could do. So once things started happening, and then I heard about Moms for Liberty, I went online and I saw there's no chapter in Rhode Island, and I couldn't believe it. So I started the process, and I've been here for 3 years and getting a lot done, even though maybe on paper it doesn't look like a huge amount, but we are up against a lot of organizations on the left that are well-funded, well-powered. They include a lot of the Democrats. They're all Democrats. So we also have our legislators who are involved in these organizations pushing a leftist radical agenda.
So it's challenging, but I think it's important that there's somebody standing.
Yes,
And
we have to.
So there you are. Was that during the time when you had to have now you have to have 5 members to start a chapter, but was that during the time when we had set that at 10? Yeah.
And 4 executive board members.
Yeah, we
So-
were setting the bar really high there in the
Yeah.
beginning because honestly, from 21 to 23, we had hundreds of applicants all
I'm
the
sure.
time. And so we could set the bar super, super high. Everybody was very
Yeah.
concerned about school boards. Thank goodness. I wish they
Yes.
were still as concerned, but it'll ebb and flow. So did you have a hard time finding your executive board and your 10 members to get
The
started?
10 members were easy because I was already involved in politics, and I was the secretary of my town's Republican town committee.
Okay.
So I already knew a lot of people. Getting the executive board members was another story. Going through the vetting process, having people who actually want to put themselves out there and then be targeted, because there are people in Rhode Island that are calling previous employers that I haven't worked for in years to complain about something I said on Facebook, as if they're going to get me fired. It's like, joke's on you. I haven't worked there in years.
Yeah, we should be mad and upset and taking that seriously, but at some point it's like you're an idiot.
Yes, it makes for more laughs and stories for me. So,
Yeah.
which probably makes them even more upset, but that's good.
Yeah, the more joyful we are, the more the
Right.
demons start
Yes.
spiraling out of control.
Yes, that's true. So It took a little bit longer to try to get the vice chair, and I've been through a few vice chairs, and the chapter itself has grown and shifted and changed course because of what we can and can't get done in Rhode Island at this time. So I have to focus on places that I can win and where we can make the biggest impact. So that's what we've done.
I think that's an important lesson for everybody that's listening. Sometimes you can make headway here or there, and you have to constantly reevaluate the
Right.
landscape of your community. And that's why it's so important that this is grassroots and local
Yes.
work, because your
Yes.
community is way different than my 60% red Brevard County, Florida
right.
community. And my legislature is different than yours. And so the way I go about my activism is going to be completely different than yours.
Yes.
And only you know. And so, we're here to support and help and give you tools that you ask for and do what we can. But really,
Yes.
it's got to be done at the grassroots level. And you need people to support you. So do you have people that support you, or do you feel like,
Yes.
because some of our chairs are like, I'm just an island left. Like, I'm here by myself and I am slaying. And they find support from other chapters in other counties and have to find their way. But do you feel like you've got at least a handful of good, faithful people in Rhode Island? Do you have a solid chapter? How's that going?
Yes, I do. So first I have my family, and they're great, and I wouldn't be able to do this without them. But then I have my vice chair, Jasmine Roy, and she is my best friend. And she won her town council seat, her first time ever getting into politics. She won that, her first go. She's on her town committee. She's the vice chair there. She serves on so many different committees.
Good for her.
She picks me up when I'm upset, and we have a lot of laughs and go through all the drama together. And she's running for a state seat, and she's going to win in her district.
Your state is a House or Assembly? What do you call it in Rhode Island?
They have it's the General Assembly.
Okay. So she's running for a General Assembly seat.
A House seat.
A
for
House
her.
seat,
Yes.
it's called. She's
Yes,
running for a
so-
House seat in the state of Rhode Island,
Yes.
and her election's in November.
Yes. So we have Senate and the House, and she's running for House District 39.
Okay. And she's going to win.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. That's exciting. So what you say she's your best friend.
Yes.
Was she your best friend? Did you know her before Moms for Liberty?
No.
And she's your
So
best friend.
yeah, it was great because it was just at that time too that I was going to need a new vice chair, just how things worked. And we were having a winning workshop, and she saw, I don't know if it was on probably Newsmax. She watches that all the time. So I think she might have saw you on Newsmax and looked to see if there was a chapter in Rhode Island. She saw it, and then she signed up, and then her and her mother signed up to come to my winning workshop. And her mother is one of our endorsed candidates who won her school committee seat the first
Look
time
at that.
she ran.
Look at that. Do you think the winning workshop helped them? Or
Yeah.
yes, I'm always curious on how effective, if they're being effective. So winning workshops, for those that are listening, are training to run the grassroots way. So we're scrappy. Most of our candidates don't have $50,000, $100,000 to run for anything, maybe not even 10,000. And so,
Or even
it's-
1,000.
or even 1,000 in some places. And so it's our training on how you can still win with not as
Yes.
much money. And it's, I think it's effective, but I
Absolutely.
love to hear stories of people that
Yeah.
took away things and actually won races. So do you
Yes.
think that training helped them?
It did. It absolutely did. There were other people who came and won their races too.
Really?
So yes.
We have been terrible about tracking that. And I think we need to do a better job so we can say we've trained 200 people and X number have won their races. So I think we need
more
to.
on the to-do list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Have a
very
club.
long to do list.
Right.
That one, Erica, if you're listening, that's our political director. I just tagged you on that one. That one's for you. Okay. So I love the story of you didn't know her before. She came to a winning workshop
Yes.
in 23, 24,
Would've been
24.
24.
Yeah. And she's your very best friend.
Yes.
And I think that's a common story within Moms for Liberty. We find our people and our battle warriors and the friendships that are made between chapters, across county lines, across state lines.
Right.
Last week, we had Emily on from Collier County, Florida, and she was telling me that Rebecca out in California just texts her and checks on her every now and then, and it makes her feel so
Yes.
good and like she's not alone. And then her own chapters has become her family. She had to have back surgery, and she didn't know any of them before. They brought her meals. They took her kids. They watched her kids. Like it's the camaraderie within Moms for Liberty is one of the most beautiful things I would say that's happened.
Yeah, Rebecca calls me and she'll send me funny reels, and
Really?
she's great. Yeah, she's out in California. She's funny too, so it's a good time. And Jen Turner's funny too, so
Yeah.
that will talk also. I love
Those
that.
two are crazy. But Rebecca specifically, I hope you're listening, Rebecca, because you're getting a lot
She
of
better
shout
be.
outs today.
She better be. If she's not, she's just.
Well, she's in California, so we'll give her
yeah.
we'll give her a little slack right now. She's not watching it live, I would think, because this is 8 a.m. What is it? 5 a.m. 5 a.m. out there. But hopefully she'll catch it later. Rebecca, she's our chief fun person.
I don't know. Head of laughs.
She's super sarcastic, but she every time we have big events, she always brings those little whatevers.
Yes.
The last thing we did in California, it was little Jesuses, but she's had little cows and little liberties, and little ducks, and she hides them all over the place. And you go home and like I'll have a jacket on, and there'll be like 3 ducks in my pocket. I'm like, where did those come from?
I know.
So she's so fun.
She's great. Yeah, it's people like that and the things like that I really need to get better at. I'm just like, yeah, well, you should just be doing your work. Well, you don't need me. But she's really good like that about checking in, and that's definitely something I should do more often.
Yeah,
but...
just we've got somebody on our team, and I won't say her name, who just says, nobody cares, work harder.
Yeah.
She says what she says all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't, nobody cares, work harder.
Yeah.
It's a little bit flip and funny, but it's also like, nobody cares. Like,
Right.
we got a country to say, work harder. But
Yeah.
it's good to have fun along the way.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, oh, you want something to complain about? I'll tell you.
Now you sound like my mother. That's what she used to say all the time.
Same with the crying. You want something to cry about?
Yeah.
Or I'll joke too. I'll say, well, what's that going to do for you? We don't have time to sit around here crying. That's the
Yeah. We are big girls at Moms for Liberty. Put on your big girl panties and get to work.
Yeah. Can't be thin-skinned here.
Yeah. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about how hard it is in like your hardest moment in Rhode Island in a deep blue state, trying to get I'm happy you just talked about winning some elections,
Yes.
good trainings, but also it's hard, right?
The hardest parts I would have to say is when you think that people are your friends, you've been working together, you go help them fundraise, you give them money, your time, your talent, your treasure. And then when you hold something like say the winning workshop, and they're like, oh yeah, I got to get my cat declawed or do something that's completely random, like, oh yeah. And then after, oh, I wish I knew when it was. And like, so things like that, or something we were also talking about. So when you start something and you're kind of like this shiny new thing, like, oh, what's going on here? I should try to get involved and see what I can get out of it. So then you end up with people who are just looking out for things for themselves and how it can benefit them. And then once you appear to no longer be useful, I guess we could say to them, and whatever their agenda is, then they don't want to do anything with you as far as work with you, even though we're working towards a common goal. Or we might have people who are in our state General Assembly who are in our same party who will say that I'm a liability or something like that, or we don't work with Moms for Liberty, when clearly the national party certainly does and President Trump does. So yeah, that's the hardest part, I'd say.
So I think that transitions into the title of this episode. If you're watching, you're like, why did you call this episode Crabs in a Bucket? Which I had never heard that term until we had our pre-interview for the episode, and crabs in a bucket. But we are not going to talk about crabs in a bucket until you watch this little fun video about our summit. This year, our 5th year, our summit is going to be in Dallas, Texas, October 8th through 11th. And this is Janelle. She works on our grassroots support team. She is hysterical. She made this video without asking permission or without any direction. She just went and made it, and I adore it. So watch this video, get your tickets to Summit, and when we come back, we're going to explain what crabs in a bucket is.
Hey, Mom. Yes? Summit tickets are on sale. What? Summit tickets are on sale?
Sun's up, it's a little after 12. Make breakfast for myself, leave the work for someone else. People they say that it's just a phase. They tell me to act my age. Well, I am on this perfect day. Nothing standing in my way. On this perfect day, when nothing can go wrong. It's a perfect day. Tomorrow
Welcome back to the Fire of Liberty show. I'm Tina Descovich, the CEO and co-founder of Moms for Liberty. My guest today is Amy Rodrigues, the Washington County, Rhode Island chapter chair. You just watched a video about our national summit. This will be our 5th one. We're 5 years old. It's in Dallas, Texas, October 8th through 11th. You can get your tickets now. We have early bird. You can save $100 right now, I think until the end of the month at momsforliberty.org/summit26. You're not going to want to miss it. We already have confirmed speakers. We're not going to announce them yet, because that would kill the fun. But we are working to get some amazing speakers. But every year we have breakout sessions that will teach you and train you. And Amy, have you been to Summit?
Yes, I have. And it's a great time. We learn a lot. We get encouraged and we meet new friends and all the people that we see on Facebook and in the chapter chair group we get to see in person. So it's a lot of fun.
So you started the chapter in 23.
Yes.
Did you go to 23 Summit in Philly?
No, because I was approved after all of that. So, but that's okay. Because then
that would have really gotten you ready for a Rhode Island pushback.
well, what I saw from that, we get that all the time anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't need the extra.
No.
Some of us in red states needed to go experience that to know what it's like for you guys in blue states. So the following year we were in DC.
Yes.
Did you go to that one?
That was awesome. That was a great time. President Trump was there. I was so excited. I got to see and meet James Lindsay and just everybody.
Yeah, James has never missed a summit. He has not confirmed yet as a speaker this year.
Oh, he's holding out.
Well, he's got a conflict in New Zealand. And I texted him again a few days ago and I'm like, really? You're going to pick New Zealand over our summit? So we'll see. I'm twisting his arm really hard. He's never missed one.
Right?
Yeah. And so then last year was Orlando. You joined us in Orlando.
Yes,
I do
that was
remember
fun.
seeing you there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dallas should be fun. Grab your boots, grab your hat, grab your belt buckles. Let's go.
Yes. The best though, when we went to Texas was at the boot camp that we
Patriot
had.
Academy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was great. And to see Rick Green and everybody, that was just awesome.
Yeah.
Good
So we
time.
took all our chapter chairs, if you're listening out there, to Patriot Academy in Western Texas, I would say, outside of Austin.
It's my first
Like
time
2
there, I
hours,
can
yeah.
tell you.
Anyway, it was just phenomenal. The training that everybody received and the fun. We did some line.
Yes.
We tried to do line dancing when that kind of fell apart, but we had a good time. We had a really good time, and educated. So many chapter chairs have come back and vice chairs and told me what I learned at Patriot Academy, I've used on my city council. I've used at my school board. I've used to help write policy. I've used to address issues. And so we're going to do it again. We're working at dates right now in 2027 to take everybody out there again.
Oh, I have to go.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So keep an eye out for that. All right. Before the break, we introduced the topic of this episode, which we haven't even discussed yet. Crabs in a bucket, which I'd never heard. Maybe it's a Rhode Island statement. You seem to have a lot of these quips. So explain to me what crabs in a bucket means in general. And then let's talk about why you think that's happening in Rhode Island.
Yes. So for those who haven't gone crabbing, you get a bucket and you grab the crabs in the net, and they'll even try to hold on to each other in the net and not allow a crab to get out of the net too. So crabs can form a link. They'll grab each other, all of that. So they all go into the bucket and then they end up getting piled on top of each other. And one crab will dare to try to look for a way out, and all the other crabs will pull them down and not let that crab
Why?
get out.
Why do they want to be all together? They want them to stay. Why
They're
do you-
crabs.
They're crabs. They're
So-
crabs. It's just what they do. So
Yes.
the crab tries to get out of the bucket, and the others
They
yank
all
it back
pull them
in.
down. And what they could do, which is why I said they can make a chain, if they were smart, they would form a crab chain and get out and pull each other out. But they don't want to do that. It's not in their nature. So
Crabs will never leave the bucket.
they won't.
Really?
Yes, that's their crab nature. They'll wait to go into the pot.
That's insane.
Yep. So we have people that apparently crab is their spirit animal. That's what they are.
And so in Rhode Island, you feel like you have got these crabs in a bucket. And
Yes.
so what's the bucket that are in, and who's pulling? Like, what do you help explain that?
They always go into higher places. So if they can be involved in politics, they love that. And they'll say, well, we want people to join our committees. We want them to join, run for office, do this. But then if it's someone that they decide they don't like, they're like, well, not you. Or if you start to get ahead, they try to devalue you and try to pull you down, even though the party or whatever it might be hasn't won anything in 100 years and has been out of power. They still are comfortable being, controlled opposition or just staying with status quo and getting ahead would require something
So
else.
keeping everybody in the status quo. And you're saying
Yes.
this about Republicans, basically conservatives in the state of Rhode Island. They're so happy
Yes.
with the status quo that they're like crabs in a bucket. It's like, don't pull us out of here.
Yes.
We're happy being in second place.
Yes.
We're comfortable here. Don't stand up, don't speak out, don't make too many waves.
That's right.
But is it as like a scarcity mentality? Like at least we're alive, at least we're here, instead of
Yes.
is
So,
that what it is?
obviously, I'm not talking about everybody, but people like titles and they like positions, even though it's not winning anything or it's not doing anything great. This mentality doesn't want anyone else to do anything.
That's the GOP in general. That was the GOP
Is
in
it?
my county. It's one of the reasons Moms for Liberty has started. I went to
Right.
the GOP after I lost my election and said, this can't happen again. I said, bring me into the fold more and let me start an education arm under the Republican Party here locally so that we aren't missing from the education argument in our community, so that we don't have radical blue school board members in a red county because the GOP is not focusing on it. Let me do that underneath you.
right.
Blocked me, threw me out of the party, lost my paperwork. It was crazy. It was a crazy time. I thought, what are you threatened by
Right.
that I want to help improve this? And so I said, well, okay, I'll just go find some friends and start
That's-
an organization to
that's
do what I
right.
want to do.
That's right. And that's another reason why I joined, because I thought surely, when my child was being mistreated and things were happening, that the party would rally around and people would help and give advice and step forward and be like, this is what you got to do. And only a few people did. And that was quite an eye opener. It's like, don't rock the boat, don't make waves and that kind of thing. So no,
The Republican Party in general, and it's not everyone, obviously, but even when I served on school board, I had at some meetings over 1,000 protesters show up.
yes.
Moms Demand Action, the teachers
Yes.
union, and they would show up in all their red matching shirts and they would protest whatever it was. I didn't want to approve an 8% pay raise, only a 5%. 1,000 people show up, trying to train and arm former military and law enforcement in school to protect. And Moms Demand Action, 1,000 people show up. And I would call the local Republican Party. Like, we know our community supports this.
hmm
We've polled, we've asked, I could ask everyone. I know my community supports this. Can you guys send one person, a single soul from the Republican Party or from any conservative idea to come and speak against these thousands of people that are showing up, hundreds up to 1,000 people? And no,
Right. Yes.
don't want to
One-
rock the boat.
Right. We stood by somebody to get elected, and they made a lot of promises to be on the school committee, make change. They're supposed to be conservative. They got on there, complete 180, didn't do anything that they promised, stabbed me in the back. I went to one of those school committee meetings too, and it was obviously about the trans guidance policy. So that's going to bring out all of the leftist organizations. They all show up. They had to move the venue from the library to the auditorium to facilitate all these outside people getting bussed in, coming in, being insane. And it's just like me and a small group of my members who were there to speak and to stand for the school committee, because some of them that were on there are endorsed candidates. So we went there to support the school committee, to speak. All these people are here. And that person who became the chair that was supposed to be on our side, when I went to speak after 2 hours of being berated by people from the teachers union, the American Library Association, all of these crazy people calling me all kinds of names, I raised my hand to go up to speak, and I wasn't allowed to after 2 years of being attacked. 2 hours, sorry, of being attacked. So yeah, it's very strange that people flip and they don't want to do the right thing.
They cave to the
Yes.
pressure. I watched my whole school board cave to the pressure. We all agreed on something 5-0. It was about 4 weeks of that kind of pressure. And I was the last one standing that still voted for it. It's a lot of pressure on folks that want to be liked. They're humans. And it's so vital that there's another voice there. I'm sorry that you were not heard that night or that day. I don't know what time of the day it was. But even if we're small in numbers, it's so vital. And I've heard stories and stories again of elected officials that are so grateful. When we passed the, I can't think of the name of the bill right now. The haters called it the Don't Say Gay bill, but it had nothing to do with not saying gay,
Right.
Family Rights and something Protection
Yes.
Act. When that passed in Florida, we went up. It was like our first legislative day, or around there. We had a large group of Moms for Liberty members there up in the gallery, and the legislator said, "We've never had any support for anything like this." And of course, there were hundreds and hundreds of screaming protesters everywhere. I think one of them threw their underwear down on the floor of the. Yeah, it's just
That's on brand
ridiculous.
for them too.
And for that, they just said to be able to look up and see even 10, 25, 2, 1 smiling face saying, "Yes, you're doing the right thing." It really does help.
Right.
So thank you for standing when it was just you and a handful against all of the others that are so enraged and so angry. It's scary. It's intimidating, but the courage it takes. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
How do you keep going when it's such a small bandit of moms?
Right. Well, because of my faith, and I know that we're on the right side, and we have to fight for our children. And if not us, then who? And if not now, when? So we have to do it. That's what's inside of me. I have to do it. I have 3 children. I want them to have a future. I want them to see America's next 250 years from now, and to enjoy the things that I've enjoyed. And a lot of that is being taken away from them. And I just can't have that on my watch.
Well, especially if your ancestors
Yes.
came through Plymouth.
They fought.
Like, yeah, you've
I
had
come-
generations
come
of.
from war heroes. So I'm not going to sit back and watch this country fall and say, well, I'm busy, I have this. There's always something, but this is the most important. This takes precedence over all of that.
Yeah, I have these thoughts often about after I die. And I think I feel like my family will be there. My aunts, like my great grandfather, my great great great. I feel like they'll all be kind of just there ready to usher me in.
Yes.
And not only are we going to have to account to Jesus,
Yes.
I do feel like your family's going to be looking at you and
Yes.
being like, I did this, I did
Right.
this, I did that. Like,
Yeah.
and you screwed it all up, right? You
Yes.
ruined everything I built. And so I'm mindful of that.
Oh,
and so with
yeah.
you've got generations of Americans for a long time.
Yeah.
They're going to be lined up. So
Well, praise God. And I think of the Apostle Paul, our example. And when I'll have a bad day or someone upsets me, I think, well, I haven't been stoned. I haven't been bitten by a snake or shipwrecked or anything. So I'm doing all right.
yeah, it's always good to look back to
little
some of those
perspective.
biblical stories and think about
Yes.
what you're asked to sacrifice.
Right.
The widow in the Old Testament, we were talking about that on Sunday about when Elijah came and said,
Yeah,
"Give
the
me,
oil and
give me your
yeah.
last meal," basically.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah.
what are we willing to give? What are we willing to do and
Right.
sacrifice for? So
Yeah.
it's
And
crazy.
if this is a test, are we going to pass it? And are we going to hear, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant"? And I planned that. I will.
Yeah, we didn't start Moms for Liberty. We've always said it's not a religious organization. It's not, but it's so tied. Early on, we came out with such a time as this gala
Yes.
and awards and the shirt and the theme, because I kept hearing from all of our members, I'm called to do this. I have to stand. I must be here.
Right.
So it is deeply tied to spiritual things
Yes.
and to scripture and to why we're doing the work, I would say.
Yes. And the bad things that happened to my family. And so this might be for everybody else too, when things are happening and you don't see the end from the beginning, but God knows that. So I think we went through the things that we went through so that I would be able to stand up and say, I'll go, send me, and fill that position. So here we are.
Here we are. We've been called and we're all standing and we are grateful for
Yeah.
it. So your best moment since you've been chair?
I would say when our endorsed candidates won their first election, and just I knew they would win, but just to then see it, and Erica was creating the graphics and texting me, and I was like so overcome with joy for them. And that was just so awesome, because I'm sure the other side was sitting there because they were attacking all of our members. They didn't, or even if they thought that they were our members, like the League of Women Voters or whatever that, they're across the country. They're supposed to be nonpartisan, but they're Democrats.
Yeah.
So they had in one of their questions, "Are you affiliated with Moms for Liberty?" that they would want to ask the candidates. So they were really all targeted, and we endorsed only 2 because I offered that to 2 because I knew they would stand and actually follow with our mission, and they had in their heart exactly what we are doing. And so I had the other example of that person who was supposed to be with us and wasn't, and I didn't offer that endorsement, because you can tell who's willing to go the distance and fight even when no one else will stand.
Well,
And-
you learn over time because
Right.
you got burned once, and
Yeah.
this is a long
Yeah.
game and a long
Yes.
process. And so you've got some school board wins you've had under your belt.
Yes.
Your vice chair won her town council. You called
Town
it?
council
town
seat.
council seat, and now
Yes.
she's running for state house,
Yes.
and she's going to win.
Yes.
And she's going to
absolutely.
win. That's going to be.
She's going to win.
Yeah,
We'll have a
it's-
good time.
That's
Yeah.
going to be a highlight. That's incredible. All right. Is there? Oh, the other thing I just wanted to touch on before we start wrapping this up. Your Senate leader, your House leader, is the head of your teachers union.
Yes.
Explain that to me.
She is the head of the teachers union, and she is the head of our Senate, which is obviously a very powerful position to have. So
Seems like a conflict to
it
me.
certainly is. And when you look at that, so you think, okay, so where am I going to go with the direction of our chapter? Because going to the school committees and trying to get them to go against the Rhode Island Department of Education and the teachers unions, that's not the best course of action. So that's why I'm trying to get people to run and be elected into our General Assembly, where real action can take place. And also my friend's running for governor. So that
Incredible.
so yeah. we
Yeah,
have a
all
lot
levels
good
of
things.
government. You're just going to fire on all
Yes.
cylinders.
Yes, whatever works, whatever. Just keep throwing it and seeing what takes, and keep coming at it.
It's great. I'm so proud of you,
Thank
because
you.
it's challenging to stand in such a
Yes.
complicated place, but you're maneuvering and figuring it out, and you're racking up some wins, and I think
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, the final question of every episode is, what does it mean to you to be a joyful warrior?
The joy of the Lord is my strength, and that's where everything comes from, with me and in me, and I know that He's watching. So that's joy, just to serve Him and to do what's right. It's not that deep of an answer, but it's what it is for me.
It's a beautiful answer, I would
Thank
say.
you.
And do you feel like you are always joyful, or is it a challenge sometimes?
It's a challenge. But then, like, what we would do, and we take these challenges and we laugh at, how it's just what things happen, how people do things just crazy.
Got to have a sense of humor in this fight,
You
or you
do.
will lose your
Thick
mind.
skin and a sense of humor.
Yeah, it's great. All right, Amy, thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming to DC, sharing your story with me today. Thank you for all you're doing in Rhode Island. Best to
you.
Jasmine, of
Yes.
course. We'll be celebrating with her on election night. And this wraps up this episode of the Fire of Liberty show. My guest today, Amy Rodrigues, the chapter chair from Washington County, Rhode Island. I don't even know, like a 50th generation American. Her family came through Plymouth, mom of 3. She's homeschooled. She's an incredible woman. And I'm Tina Descovich, the CEO and co-founder of Moms for Liberty. This is the Fire of Liberty show. Please follow us on all social media. Catch us live every Wednesday. And you can catch it later on Apple and Spotify. Go right now. Give us 5 stars. Hit that you like it. Leave a comment. Help share the show if you like this episode. And we'll see you next week.